Hello all, good evening, and thank you for joining this webinar session on how OfficeAjo works. So my name is Esther Luke. I'm one of the team members of OfficeAjo. Just want to use this medium to welcome everyone to this session. I believe that some of us are not new to OfficeAjo and what we do. And for those of us who are new to OfficeAjo, we welcome you specially. And as the session goes on, I believe we'll know more about what OfficeAjo does, the whole process from sign up, and the other team members would also be speaking. So we'll get to know each and everyone. Thank you all once again for joining. And I just want to welcome Shegun, who is going to take it up from here. Thank you.
All right, Esther, thank you very much for that introduction. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this session. It's our maiden session on how it works. We call it How It Works series. Without much ado, I know, one of the things for us is that we want to keep to time. There is nothing like African time as far as OfficeAjo is concerned. So we had to wait for about 10 minutes to allow people join, but now we need to start. Thank you once again. I would be sharing my slide with you at the same time demonstrate how the platform works, just like it implies how it works. So for the benefit of the people joining us who are new to OfficeAjo, right, I would be sharing our slide as well with you, just to know what it is, how it works, and a number of other things. As we go on, you can as well throw in your questions in the chat box here. We will address them as they come. Thank you. So just let me share my screen right now with you. All right. The name Ajo, Isusu, Adache, depending on what part of the country we come from, is not new. It's an age-long concept. What we have primarily done at OfficeAjo is to revolutionize this concept and tailor it to the workplace. Yeah, please, let's all mute ourselves, please. So like I said, it's an existing concept, but what we have simply done is to revolutionize this. Traditionally, you find this in the informal sector where you have the market men and women contribute and then take money in turns to help themselves. We all know what Nigeria is currently. We all know what inflation rate is like. We all know what the devaluation, the interest rate that is bedeviling the country at the moment. We know salaries are never commensurate with our expenses. And the fact remains that expenses are fixed. People need to consume, buy, things and all of that. But of course, your earnings and the devaluation currently is not helping matters. Now, how do people remain afloat amidst this, right? When you go to the bank to borrow today, we know what the rates are. And the only reason why people go to the banks or people keep money in the banks is because of trust, right? I know if I put in my money in the bank, I'm going to beg back my money whenever I need it. But the unfortunate thing to that is the funds you and I keep in our bank account right now, you walk into bank A, you put in a sum of money, let's say ₦1 million. The next moment, this same bank will take your same amount of money, the same ₦1 million, and give it to Mr. B, right? And Mr. B will pay a lot on this to get this fund from this bank, perhaps 18, 20% interest rate. The same you that the bank got this funds from, you're not even being given anything for this, right? You're not being compensated, rather all sorts of deductions coming to your deposits, all sorts of charges. At the end of the day, you realize that 2, 3, 6 months down the line, your 1 million is not it's not ₦1 million any longer. Perhaps it's about 900 and something thousand. And the other person who got the fund from the bank is equally paying a very high interest rate. Now, OfficeAjo was born on that note to say, how do we build trust and confidence in the system such that if we come together, irrespective of where we work, and then we help ourselves, by leveraging on one another to achieve our common financial goals, right? That would really, really make things easy for us because we know that consumption is a must, it's constant, right? But what we know now, with what we don't know is how do we get this funds? Of course, knowing fully well that if you go to the bank, you have to pay very high for that. And that is what OfficeAjo came to address, the issue of trust and confidence in an old age concept called Ajo. Let me flip through. So these are the things I'll be talking about. Let me quickly just play this for us so that we can just have a glimpse of who we are. It's about 1 minute video. Just sit down, relax, and listen to this. All right. Thank you for that. And I hope you at least had an understanding as to who we are, even though I'll be talking a bit more. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so these were some of the things we observed. Personally, I've been in a number of Ajo as well myself, and these were the problems we saw, and we decided to address this problem, right? Of course, people do not have access to capital, cheap capital. Cost of capital is quite high today in Nigeria. Delay in payment when typically in an office settings when people go into, because we know people do that a lot in virtually a number of offices in Nigeria today, right? People coming together to come in a form of contribution and a job contribution. What typically happens is that you have to appoint more or less the admin, right? Who administers, who takes what number, and all of that. So there is always delay. This person is here to pay his as such until everybody pays before you get yours. Security, right? Because anyone can choose to leave the organization. It could even be your friend, your family, abscond and all of that. So these are some of the ethics contributors typically, or prospective contributors typically have. So let's even say the system and the people who are part of this are people of integrity, right? Anything can happen. God forbid someone dies, or perhaps is incapacitated due to one thing or the other, he or she cannot afford that. What happens really? Now, these were some of the things we noticed in the system because we realized that it helped a lot of people, right? People wanting to pay rent, people wanting to do a number of things. They had easy access to, cheap capital. And the fact remains that when you have your employees, right, when you have them happy, your work or your deliverables are equally as good as being, good as well. So when you have a workforce that is not happy, perhaps not necessarily due to the fact that you're not paying them well, but due to the fact that things beyond your control, like I said, inflation, interest rate, you go to the market, what you bought 100 naira yesterday is now about 300, salary is not being commensurate with their earnings, it becomes an issue, right? It's not you, but they are passing those grudges to you, and it affects their productivity at work. And that was how this whole concept of OfficeAjo came about, right? So one of the things people want to know about is how do we, secure the system, knowing fully well that our mantra here is that you don't necessarily need to know anyone before you join an job, and bearing in mind that your fund, as a when do you will get it. How does this work? People want to see us, talk about how it works and all. So first and foremost, for everyone who is on the system, we typically conduct what we call credit, risk assessment, right? So we're a member of CRC. CRC is one of the credit agencies in Nigeria. where everyone who has gotten a loan at any point in time, you have your record, you have your details. If you go into the bank today to get a loan, they submit they get a profile about on you, and then they see whether you're creditworthy or not. So same thing, right? The banks, the cooperatives are a member of CRC, and I think there are about 3 of them in Nigeria. So we are equally a part of CRC, which is one of the agencies in Nigeria. We assess your creditworthiness, but we equally know that it's possible that perhaps you've not gotten a loan. As such, you don't have a record, right? So how do we do it? How do we forge ahead? So the next thing is that we try to onboard organizations, right, on the platform. So every organization that is onboarded, their staff can as well join. Now, aside that, we know there are a number of organizations that are not necessarily onboarded, but whose staff want to be a part of this. I'll walk you through that as we go on. Yeah, so they can as well join, because we know that if you work in a credible organization, definitely you're going to be paid. Your accounts, your pay slip, or your account statement on that salary account is going to carry the name of the organization. So we know that, yes, you're truly working for this organization. Otherwise, they won't pay you. And not aside that, we are as well ask that you bring in your 6 months statement of account. And all of this is automated. I will walk you through how it works. So like you can see here, all contributors are staff members of reputable organizations. We verify all contributors before they are allowed to join the contribution. So beyond you joining, whether or not your organization is onboarded, we know that anything can happen beyond your control. So it's not just about we as an organization. We are also seeing from your own point of view as a contributor. What if this happens to you? What if, or perhaps a member of that group, and then God forbid the person dies, or the person took you, the person cannot contribute his or her own contribution? What happens at that point, right? So this is not a function of integrity now, right? So we partnered with one of the leading insurance companies in Nigeria, Leadway Assurance, to provide insurance on every contributor in the event that any of these things happen. So they step in as the cover. Another thing beyond some of the things I've just talked about is, especially when it involves you putting your financial information, people are concerned as to how secure is this system I am putting my financial details on, right? Our system makes use of a 3FA system and a bank type, the likes you find on the platforms like Paystack and what have you, right? So it is a global standard. So there is a PCI DSS compliant system on our home platform. Let me move to the next slide, please. Sorry, my system. Okay, sorry, yeah. So unique proposition, access to capital, saves time, increases efficiency. So typically what happens, in the workplace or even outside the workplace for people who are existing Ajo contributors or who know about Ajo, right? So you have to find, if you intend to do an Ajo, let's say 100,000 with 10 persons, 100,000, oh, that's 1 million naira. So you need to be on the lookout for, virtually everyone to fill up that, group, right? And that is challenging. One, you're equally looking out for not just anybody, someone who is credible. Most times, what typically happens is that it is the people we know, we have close affinity with, whether they are friends or their family, their church, or then any member of our family in general, right? These are the guys we bring on board to say, yes, can we join the contribution? So it slows the pace. Now, an OfficeAjo, if we take off that headache from you, it is borderless. All you just need to do is to say, yes, I'm interested in an Ajora. And because there are tons of people, there are people like you across the different parts of the country who equally want to join an Ajora, and they are looking for someone like you too, as much as you're looking for them. So we create that platform where people can come in to join a particular job based on their financial goals or interests. So it's convenient and trustworthy. You can trust the system. All you need to do is to sit back within wherever you have, perhaps your home, your office, and then you can join. Now, we have a partnership with Providence Bank, just like I made mention of Leadway Assurance, where they come in as an insurance cover. They provide that risk when anyone, falls ill or cannot contribute his or her own quota to the group. Now, we equally have a partnership with Providence Bank. Providence Bank is where we warehouse everyone's fund. Once you sign up on the system, everybody gets a Providence virtual account on the system, and you can go off the system, walk to any Providence Bank, and then you make use of that account, just like our typical account numbers, and you can do your transaction, right? Now, the beauty of this is just like you have, for some of us that, know about what in those days in the Yoruba land they call Alajo Shumolu. You realize that there's somebody out there who goes around the market, gets everybody's contribution, and then you have to fill a form and it goes around. Now, for us, we know that for imagine someone in a group of 10 and you happen to be the last person picking. It doesn't really make any business sense for you because at that point it's as good as your savings. So what stops you from, if you're disciplined enough to actually put your money in the bank or put your money in, anything, a piggy bank or whatever you, and then you're disciplined enough over this 10-month period or 5-month period or whatever period, you get that same amount. So we know truly that the first set of people to get their own payout are the real beneficiaries of an adjust system. Now, the question now becomes, how do we compensate for people who are picking as the last set of people, right, to come on the platform? So for every person picking as the last or second to the last, depending on the group, we give incentive as well, a fraction of their contribution. So for instance, in a group of 10, for the last person who happens to be the 10th person, the person gets 2% on his or her contribution. So if you're doing, let's say 100,000 for instance, which is 1 million at the 10th month. Six who got this. If they were to go to the bank, they know what they're going to pay. So you that allowed them to actually have that opportunity to pick first, there is need to compensate you. And it is very competitive as well because we know that even when you keep such an amount in the bank, you are not going to get a 2% interest. You are going to get the reverse, all sorts of deductions, coming. Like I said, we insure you, we provide insurance service. I've talked about this. Now to employers, like we always say, if your employees are happy, be assured that their productivity will be high. And that is very key. Now, we know today that a number of organizations equally do or give what you call employee loans. And depending on how large the organization is, right? I know some organizations earmark as high as, 100, 200 million, like I said, depending on the organization, as what you call employee loans, right? We're saying to employers that we take up this burden off you, right? We can, as well as give the same loans that your employees are, looking towards getting from you. We can give them on our platform in the form of an adjust, and they make repayment. And the beauty of an adjust over, the employee loan is this. So from the viewpoint of the employer, it makes you even make use of your your capital in putting in something productive. So if I'm earmarking 200 million or 100 million, depending on how big my organization is, as employee loans, the fact is I can actually channel that same fund into something productive that will give me perhaps maybe 10%, 15%, depending on, where I'm putting it, perhaps a mutual fund or any of this financial instrument. Now, two, for some organizations, what you also do is, depending, for SMEs, for instance, right, and depending on how large again, right, some as well operate what you call cooperative. But the typical cooperative works in such a way that you need to have contributed certain amount of money. Let me make use of the 1 million, 100,000 reference again. If you want a million naira today, and you have an organization that has a cooperative, most organizations give you 2 times or multiple of 2 of what you contribute. So I need to have contributed 500,000 before I can access 1 million naira. So if I'm contributing 50,000 naira on a monthly basis in the cooperative, right, I need to have contributed up to the 10th month, which is 500,000 before I can access a million naira. And we all know that, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you have that need for cash. Today, September, schools are resuming, parents will be paying fees, a number of things, obligations here and there, house rents and the rest, right? Sometimes you don't have the luxury of time to contributing over a period of time before you can have access, to certain amount of money. Aside that, cooperative is, of course, relatively to the bank is cheaper, but to our platform is way, way expensive. We know typically They do between 7 to 8% or 9%, depending on the organization, even though you are still getting multiple of just two of what you earn. So we tell organizations that we help you take up the burden of one, employee loans if you have such package. Two, if you don't even have such package, we are also telling you that we help you make your employees more productive because we know that a happy employee it translates into higher productivity in the workplace. So we help retain talents invariably. That's what we do for employers. Now, you might be wondering to say, who are the guys behind this, right? So we have a face. We are not like, just platforms springing up here and there. Our model is quite clear, right? We're just like a platform that facilitates people across different organizations to create that platform where people come in, and then we ensure that we create a system that allows people to take turns one after the other, and we eliminate the issue of trust that typically comes with joining an job. So you can check us out on LinkedIn. This is the team. And then again, you might ask us to say, what license do we have to go into this? One of the things we know today in Nigeria is that a number of platforms are springing up, right? One, without clear business model. Two, without the requisite license to carry out some of the things they choose to. Now, if you look at our platform, you would see that on the homepage, it started not just as a thrift platform or what you call Agile or what people generally call Rosca. We currently have an investment arm of it. But for the investment arm of it, we are yet to activate that. Why? Because we don't necessarily, we're still in the works of trying to process the license. Now, for the Agile part of it, by virtue of the 2004, if you have a cooperative license in Nigeria, you can actually do this, what we are currently doing. Not just that, we are equally in partnership with Providence Bank, which is a commercial bank. So on their wings, we are equally operating. So from the viewpoint of regulation, we try to ensure that we tighten our end and that we are licensed to do what we are doing. We're not just out there to do it just because we feel, oh, there's value to be created, both from our end and from the customer's point of view. We have our partners here, our strategic partners. Like I said, I talked about Idway that provides insurance cover, Providence Bank that warehouses the fund that equally gives everybody upon sign up a virtual Providence account that you can use to do your transaction. We have Paystack. Paystack helps us collect funds. We equally have Verify Me. So when you're coming on the platform, you want to join an Agile, we ask a number of questions. We want to know who you are. We get your BVN. We verify your BVN. So they're all tech platforms, right? That helps you verify your BVN. We know who you are, your identity. We call it ask for your name or your driver's license to know exactly who we are dealing with. Mono is a platform that helps you collect your statement in real time. So one of the things as we progress, you would see is that if you want to join an Agile, for instance, you're earning 100,000 naira. You can't join an Agile of 100,000 when you're earning 100,000, right? Because you know that we know you have, bills to pay and all of that. So you can't. You can only do 1/3 of your earnings, just like the banks do. So Mono helps you collect your statement of account in real time. In less than 20 seconds, you have access to your whether it's internet banking or mobile banking, and then you can fetch your statement of account real time, as against having to download or go to your bank. So it saves you time. I'll quickly play this and I'll demonstrate live to you as well. And have an account already. If not, you can check my video out on how to sign up. So for this, you click on login. It takes you to the login page where you provide your email address and your password, and then you hit on the login tab. So it takes you straight to your dashboard. But we're interested in joining an Agile. That's the purpose of this video. So I click on join Agile, right? I can see here active, explore, and completed. Active Agile simply means that the Agile I'm a part of, I'm currently part of. Explore simply means that the Agile I'm trying to explore and be a part of. Completed simply means the Agile. On my right, I can see Agile Wallet. So for you to join an Ajo, you have to actually use your card first and foremost to initiate joining an Ajo. And then subsequently, your monthly deductions will be taken from your wallet. And then in the event that you do not have money in your wallet, it will be deducted from the card as well that you provided. So I want to join an Ajo. So there are so many Ajos here, right? So, but I'm interested in, have a goal amount in mind. I need an Ajo for 100,000. So let me filter to drill down to 100,000 naira Ajo. I don't want any other thing. And then you can choose to also select contributors there, but I just want to see the different Ajos for 100,000 here. And so I can see the different ways I can actually contribute in an Ajo of 100,000. And so I am interested in this. I click on this, and then I can see the particulars here, and I can see a copy link. So I can actually make use of this copy link here, and then share with friends and family that I think might be interested in this. And then I come here, I click on join now. Now it shows to me that I'm about to join an Ajo of 100,000 with a contributive amount of 25,000 with four participants over 4 months, and I can only contribute one third of my salary. So you cannot contribute more than that. To join an Ajo, you have to be a member of an organization. If you cannot find the organization here, you have to use the please select tab here, and then once you put in the details here and you click on send, we get a notification, and within 24 hours we assess and then we onboard your organization. Let me click here for the purpose of this. I'm picking on Freight NG company address. Let's assume this is my company address, so I could work in an organization that has branches, here and there. So this is the very branch I work in. My statement of account I can upload here, or choose to use a third-party system called Mono that helps you fetch your statement of account in real time. So I'm interested in that. Let me click continue. I use GT Bank and then log in with internet banking, and then I put in my details here and I click login, and here it is successful. My account has been fetched, through Mono from my bank. So date of the month I would like to be charged. Um, we all know that different organizations actually make pay salaries at different times. So some beginning month, or beginning of the month, end of the month, mid month. Let me say mine is 15th. So meaning that 15th of every month over the period of this adjournment, I'm going to be charged um, on monthly basis. Purpose of adjournment, this is very optional, but we just want to know why exactly are you doing this. So let's assume I'm doing this to get a car. So that's it. I hit on make contribution. So it takes me to a payment gateway, and then I can choose to actually pay with card, bank, or USSD. So I want to pay with the card, and I make payment. So it's successful, and it takes me back to the page. Now you can see to my right hand corner it says transaction is successful, slot will be assigned to you when verification is completed. And you can see here it has changed from join now to you are yet to be verified to be a contributing member. So what typically happens here is that having made payment, we have been prompted, and then we immediately verify you, verify your statement of account, verify that truly you can afford to pay the sum of 25,000, which on monthly basis, which this Agile entails. And then once that is done, just at the tip, it goes straight to your HR as well for verification to confirm whether or not you're a staff of that organization. And all of this I'm talking about is within minutes, 5 minutes, less than that. Um, Off you go. And then once the verification is completed, you get a notification immediately saying to you that you have been verified, and this changes straight away to you are now a member of this Agile. So see my next video to see what the typical verification exercise is like. All right. Me. Oh, sorry. Bye. Sorry. Hello. Well, sorry about that. So, perhaps you might have to say what is the need for us as a business. Can you all hear me, please? Hello.
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. So perhaps you might ask us that what is the need for us as a business? Our model is simple. We charge 5% flat rate across different Agile, right? And you can see how we charge this. for a group of 3 to 4, for instance, last receiver gets this. So this is how it works, right? So we did a distribution over the different groups, and depending on what position you find yourself in the Ajo. These are the organizations we have onboarded on the platform that are currently using OfficeAjo. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to be a member of an organization, right? In the event that you don't have your organization onboarded, you can as well join an Ajo. I will do a live demo for us to see. Um, One of the reasons why we equally, we bring in people via the organization as well is our product is an end-to-end product, in the sense that we are in the business of trying to make life easy for everybody. Nigeria is quite challenging. So yes, when you get a loan, when you come on the platform and you're able to have access to cheap capital that ordinarily you would not get in any of the financial institutions, we are equally extending, to make things much more, relaxed and comfortable for you. So we are building as well a buy now, pay later a business where you don't necessarily have to pay for all that you buy. And that is what is obtainable abroad. When you go abroad, virtually everything down to mortgage, people don't pay once for it. Cars, gadgets, mentioning, right? It's a credit system that is working. And it's the same thing we're trying to replicate here as well, to say, one, to have access to capital, we want to make it as easy as possible. Two, we're also trying to make, things very easy for people, because, I mean, when you get this fund, there are things that you have to purchase, right? You don't necessarily have to buy all of this or any of these things at a go. You can, pay in bits. And to do that, we need to know you beyond just getting an Ajo, right? So we need your organization as well to come on board, so that in the event that, right, you choose not to pay, we know that, yes, we can as well get back this from your organization. So that's the reason why we ask organizations to join, but it doesn't in any way stop you from not joining. If your organization is not onboarded, and perhaps, and you work for a structured organization that pays your salary, with the name of the employer on your, statement of account or your payslip. Thank you. So let me just do a live demo for you, for everyone to see how it works, real time beyond the video you're watching. I'll just walk you through this now. Right, so this is it now, real time. I'm trying to use this system real time so that you see how this works. And then let me use my real account for this. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was wondering why I didn't have access to it. Now you can see from my dashboard here. First and foremost, when you log in, you log into your dashboard, right? You see your general wallet, you see your thrift, you see your investment, and all of this. The goal here is we want to see how it works, how you join an Ajo. Right? So for you to join an Ajo, like the video explained, you need to use your credit card to initiate the first one, and the subsequent ones will be deducted either from the same account or from your wallet, provided you have funds in the wallet. So if, for instance, I want to pay now, I've joined an Ajo, and the system wants to, it's the time for me to pay again, make my contribution. The system does not need to deduct my account. As you can see, I have funds in the wallet. So it automatically make an auto deduction from the wallet on the date you have chosen that you want to. Now, for the purpose of this, let me just click on this very Ajo here, and then I click on join now. You can see here it says not available. So if your company is not available, these are companies that are you click on not available, and then there is a pop-up that comes to say put in the name of your organization. So if I put in the name of my organization, let's say Green Minds Hotel, we know that again, different branches, different organizations, and multiple places across the different parts of the country. I can choose to, let's say this is the address, right? And I can choose to upload my statement here, and just like you saw in the video, and that's it. The moment you do that, it comes to us, and then we can see back end and quickly in real time assess you to say, yes, are you fit to join this? What you're earning, is it commensurate with 1/3 of what you say you want to, and you want to join? If no, we click on decline and we'll tell you the reason, and you automatically get a refund back to your wallet, which you can withdraw. I will quickly play a video. No, before then, I will as well show you how to withdraw, right? So for you to withdraw your fund directly, you need to have clicked, or you need to have checked all the key requirements here. As you can see, we have for your security question. We know beyond just putting a password, email, and what have you, we need to protect the system further. So we ask that you put a personal question, a personal security question, say, or and any question. I mean, you determine the question, you determine the answer, and then for you to withdraw, to put in as well. So aside that, you have your details, your KYC. We ask that you put all of these things here, right? You select your ID type, whether it's name or driver's license or voter's card, and then you punch in the number. So all of this verification needs to have been done before you withdraw. And to withdraw, you can see here, let me just try and do a withdrawal for you to see how wallet I have it, 9,000 naira. If I put, let's say, say 1,000 naira here, and then I put in my security question. I would right, and you get see, you can your balance as being deducted by it, and so that's how straightforward and easy it is, right? You can make withdrawal as you default, provided you have completed your KYC, because security is of utmost. You just don't want anybody to have access, to your system and able to, be able to, game the system at any point in time. Pretty much that's how it is. But let me just show you one more quickly. We promise to do not go beyond the 1 hour mark, or perhaps just a bit of that. Let me quickly play a video on how to sign in. Just 1 minute. Just just quickly, let me fix this.
Hi there, my name is Yemi Fashio, and I'm the Chief Talent Officer at YF Talent Partners. I'm about to sign on now to OfficeAjo, and I have with me Nana, the Chief Operating Officer at OfficeAjo, to take me through the process so that I can just start enjoying the benefits immediately. I am signing on. Let's go, Nana.
Great to have you here, Mr. Yemi. Okay, so first thing you want to do is to log on the website, and of course, it has a section that has login and sign up. So what you want to do is to go to sign up, right? And then you see a place where it asks for your email. You put in your email. So for the sake of this testing, we'll use OfficeAjo testing@gmail.com. Okay, so you hit that and it asks you to fill in your first name, last
We can't see
name.
the video.
Basically, all the
Oh, he can't see the
when
video.
signing up to any other website.
Yeah, we can't see the video. We can only
So
see your
do
file.
this for testing.
Oh,
Name.
wow.
I put
I
sign up.
thought- Sorry about that. Come. Just only this. Let me stop this. Sorry. Oh, just a minute. Let me try and fix that, please. Moment, please. Can you see it now? Please, can you see the video?
Yes.
Yes.
But
All right.
Hi there, my name is Yemi Fashio and I'm the Chief Talent Officer at YF Talent Partners. I'm about to sign on now to OfficeAjo and I have with me Nana, the Chief Operating Officer at OfficeAjo, to take me through the process so that I can just start enjoying the benefits immediately. I am signing on. Let's go, Nana.
Great to have you here, Mr. Yemi. Okay, so first thing you want to do is to log on the website. And of course, it has a section that has login and sign up. So what you want to do is to go to sign up, right? And then you see a place where it asks for your email. You put in your email. So for the sake of this testing, we'll use OfficeAjo testing@gmail.com. Okay, so you hit that and it asks you to fill in your first name, last name, basically all the stuff you would fill when signing up to any other website or platform. So I'll just do this for testing. I put my name, I put sign up at testing. Then I put a testing password as well. I'll just use this. Okay. Then you confirm the password. It has to tally with the initial. Okay. And then after that, I want to put my phone number. Okay. So it has a section for referral code, which is optional. If you have one, you put it in. If you don't, it makes no difference. So after that, you want to go ahead and click submit. Okay. So when you click submit, it should take you, just give me a second. Yes, and there you have it. Thanks for signing up on OfficeAjo. So it should have a confirmation where it sends you an SMS. Of course, that just came in right now. And so if you check your phone, you receive the SMS link to confirm your sign up, exactly. And you verify your account through the link. So what you want to do is to click on the link and let's just see, beautiful email verification. And there you have it, your email is verified. So what you want to do is to go back to login. But then it asks you some questions again. You want to know your gender, just for profiling, your date of birth, how you heard about us. So we'll just quickly fill in all that. Okay, date of birth. How did you hear about us? For this exercise, you just go with friends, and then you click on the agreement terms, and there you go. Thanks for completing your registration.
Wow.
I don't know do you have any questions?
No, that's it. Simple, easy, user-friendly, And so once I sign up, that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Interesting.
So you have access to your dashboard now, and
Right.
that's pretty much how to sign up to OfficeAjo.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Let me stop this. So that's it. I don't know if there are a number of questions. I don't know if we have questions now. We'll be glad to take your questions on how OfficeAjo works, the OfficeAjo works series. Thank you. I look forward to your questions. I'm sure you have questions to ask. You can either ask your questions now or perhaps throw some of the questions here on the chat box here. Anyone with a question? Hello? Hello? If we have questions, please, we can kindly ask or drop here the comment section here. We still look forward to your questions. We will be glad to answer your questions. Hello, everyone. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much for the comments, and I can see the comments coming now. Thank you so much, the features are self-explanatory. Thank you for that. Ian, I think your presentation was very informative. I don't think I have any questions. I'm glad you found it very informative and interactive. Yeah, thank you for that. Any more comments, questions? We would like to take that. We also want you to be ambassadors, really. I mean, just take your time as well to look at this beyond what represented, perhaps log on the system, engage with the system, see how it works and how it works for you. And perhaps even some of your colleagues at work, because we know everybody needs this, not in this current state that we have as a nation. All right. Yes, please. We have active adjusters that you can be a part of, that you can as well share with your friends and your family. Thank you for that, Esther. Okay. I can see a username La the plug. Are you there? If yes, please can you unmute? I know.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, sir.
Okay. Good evening. I found your username quite, appealing, so I said to just call on you. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you. It's my first time here understanding how the OfficeAjo works, and I think it's a good one. The all you said were quite informative for me too. I was able to follow up all through. But for me, I would like to ask a question though. For a company that is just starting up, I don't know if you can hear me well.
Very well, please. Loud and clear.
Okay, yes. For a company that is just starting up and the number of workers are like maybe they're just like 3 or 4 people in the organization, can they also sign up, or do we have to be like a big organization before we sign up for the OfficeAjo?
At all, to your question, no, you don't have to be, as a matter of fact, is actually designed for SMEs, right? So the question I have is your organization. So like I said, first question, how long? Number actually end with through your account name, which carries the name of the organization. And so these are the two things. So it's not a function of how big you are, right? So we know that this business has been in existence for over 2 years or a year. And then we know that virtually everyone who works in your organization for at least for over a period of 6 months, they can show to us that they have been working in this organization and that carries the name of the employer on this over a 6-month period. That's all. It's not for even large corporates. I mean, if you're working in Chevron and that's not to say they don't do this, but OfficeAjo for SMEs actually. Did I answer your question, please? Satisfied? Hello?
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for that. No intentions to name call. I can see Kumbi Oshinoiki. Any questions for us, please? And I also want to know if you did follow and enjoy our presentation and what we do. If you are there. Okay, I see Deepa Williams, Toby Lola. Okay, okay, no questions. Thank you very much. Toby, we've heard from you. Yano, we've heard from you. Deepa Williams, if you are there, we would like to hear from you as well. Adeyani, if you are also there, we would like to hear from you. Perhaps just a message, you're okay, no questions, and we're good to go. We want to keep the time as well. All right. Are there any? You want to say something to us?
Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay. Thank you, Deepak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I came in a little bit late. I received your email about the Ajo Esusu company. So my question is this: I do not live in Nigeria. So right now I'm talking to you from England. So do you have, if you do have facilities for people living abroad, what guarantee can you convince us that this company is not another one who is going to collect all our money, and then in about 6 to 12 months time, you can start giving us excuses, because that is the norm right now in Nigeria. And I'm talking from experience. I have about 3 or 4 different investments in Nigeria. I've not been able to collect a single kobo for the past 2 years. So what makes you different?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. One, we are not an investment, or this very agility is not an investment scheme. So it's not an investment. What we are primarily doing is to facilitate contributions across different employees, right? So it's not an investment. To your question, you are based abroad, so it's domesticated here in Nigeria, at least for now. It's within Nigeria. So if you are outside Nigeria and want to, of course, assume that your earnings are coming from outside. In terms of how we are different from other platforms, what I tell people is that, for a number of these Ponzi scheme, I call them Ponzi scheme, right? I try to let people know that they need to question. So when people tell you, I'm going to give you X return on your investment, I think it is imperative for people to ask questions, to say, what exactly do you do? How do you do it? Like, what do you do with our funds? So I give you 1 million and you tell me that in 6 months, I'm going to give you 30%, right? So what do you do? What do you invest into? Because if you look at the different classes of assets, you realize that none of this asset gives you such returns. So what exactly are you doing? People don't ask the right questions. So in a nutshell, we are not an investment platform. What we primarily do is that we're saying to you that you don't need to have access to funds at an expensive interest rate, right? We are saying to you that you earn X amount, scheduled somewhere in another organization, X this amount, but I mean, you look forward to having buying a car or something, and you can't afford to pay or to go to the bank to borrow, right, at high interest rate. We're saying to you that you can come into a group where every one of us contributes to a pot. And then at the end of the month, Mr. A goes with the first pot. The second month comes in, Mr. B goes with it. And until virtually everybody in that group gets their own portion of the pot. That's what we do. We facilitate all of that. So we are not an investor. Our model is very clear. We are all together in a group. We are all earning certain amount that we on our own, we've taken upon ourselves to verify your source of income, your identity, and we facilitate that. So you take one, it takes number two, it takes number three. So that's and to cap it up, we equally have a license. So ask any of these platforms to say, what license do you have to do what you're doing? I bet you they don't have any license. And because we knew that we will be talking with or engaging with people who are enlightened, people who are exposed because they're employees, with organizations that are, high up there, that are reputable. These people are intelligent. They will ask questions. Yes, your model is fantastic, but I mean, what gives you the right to do what you're doing? What license do you have to do what you're doing? And so that was one of the things we went for. So we have a license to back up what we're doing. Aside that, we are equally leveraging on the wings of existing notable brands. So a Providence Bank will not soil its name, right? If it's something shady, right? A lead reassurance will not soil its name. You can see for those who are in the HR space or you find regularly on LinkedIn, the video we just played, you can see someone who is very notable in the HR space or in the business world in general, Mr. Yemi Fashion. So such names would not be associated with a brand, can diminish, the track record they have built over the years. So we are far different. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, to an extent, but the reason why I actually logged on is because although I'm based here, my intention is to use you while I'm in Nigeria because I intend to have a company in Nigeria. And then decided to say, okay, if we use you to put in the money, so to, as you said earlier, because I heard the way it's talked about finding it a bit difficult to have access to loans for what either personal reasons or business reasons. So in my situation, it's not for personal reasons, much more around business reasons. Say, okay, for example, when the company is opened up and we are putting our money into your Ajo with the intention that in 6 or 12 months' time, we'll be able to have a collection that we can invest in a machinery. But the question is that in 12 months' time, am I going to get stories or am I going to get the money to use? That is, so it's much more of integrity when it comes to Nigerian businesses. So we in diaspora, we champion this. We are happy when we see things like this. But when we come and we put our money, we don't have good tales to tell. So that is, and I can assure you that anybody else like me, you will be saying the same thing I'm saying right now. So it's integrity is the issue. It's not the fact that you are insured or the fact that you're at Providence Bank. I know Providence Bank. My sister works in Providence Bank. See, so I know those areas quite well, and I know about Leeds. Most of my investments in Nigeria are insured by Leadway. It doesn't make any difference. So it's about integrity. That is what I believe that is going to sell this. We need to believe in the integrity of the people here. That is the issue. It's not about the insurance. It's not about the licenses. Anybody can get that. It's Nigeria. Integrity is the issue here. And I believe that if I can cross that hurdle, then I can be in touch and then we can do something. But integrity is, for me at the moment, is the main issue.
Thank you very much for the feedback. I think you are very right. And unfortunately, when you have one or two experiences, it rubs off on virtually everyone, right? Irrespective of, how clean or you come to, to the table. We knew we were going to have this challenge, right? Like I said, we set out to solve two problems: trust and confidence. We need friends. The issue we would have to battle with is issue of trust, and that was why we had to even, try to bring in associate with those names and then individuals. But to be honest with you, we will definitely welcome any suggestion you think. Just to prove to you or to people in diaspora or Nigerians here to say these guys are real. It won't be like the other guys out there when it comes to 6 months down the line or whatever time they go down to a drain and come up with all sort of stories. We will gladly welcome that because we know that is the major issue. We know that it will take us time to build that trust and confidence in people, and that's why we're investing in strategic relationships with organizations and individuals. But if there are ways you think, we can do by trust, we will gladly welcome that. We look forward to, hearing from you. I don't mind to hear from you now if you do have suggestions for us.
No problem at all. I shall definitely be in touch.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, I can hear Kumbi. We have been bonding in the past. Yes, we know. That's the truth. We know it's a major hurdle we have to cross. We definitely know. To build trust in Nigeria, it's challenging. We know. We know this is a cross we have to carry, at least for the time being. Hopefully, we cross this hurdle. If you look at the likes of PiggyVest, that is even in the business of having to take your funds and invest in different classes of assets. When they started 6 years ago, they also faced this kind of thing, right? So, to say, oh, you're not a bank, you just want to collect our funds, and then you say you want to invest in this. But 6 years down the line, it has proven to be real. It's a different thing entirely now. Everybody just needs to have that chance, and that's why we're investing in some of these strategic relationships. Like I said, it's even costing us a whole lot, but we know it's something we have to do, right? Get people who people see up high there and people respect and trust in the industry, which we also know that they also would not, for whatever reason, spoil their name in anything shady. Trying to get organizations, getting influencers as much as we can. But like I said,
I know what you're doing. I grew up on the Ajo. So it's not, what you're doing is not new. It's been around for the past 50 years, even longer than that. So I remember the old man with this big brown briefcase going from place to place, collecting the money from the women and the market and stuff like that. And I remember the old women and the grandmothers always promising, don't worry, I'm going to collect my Ajo at the end of so on the date. They look forward to those dates to collect the money to invest. So I know what you're doing. It's not new. So what you're simply doing is to formalize it, give it more. That's why I said with you right now, it's about integrity, because that's what you're trying to do. We're trying to give the Ajo integrity that look, because I also heard about this. I also see the old women crying because somebody has run away, because the Ajo man himself has run away with their money.
Yes.
You see, when the babas run away with the money, or the baba died and they don't know where he has kept the money. See, so there's issues like that. Even in those days, there were those issues. But I can also say that there were more good news than they were bad. So that's why. So there is more good news than bad. A lot of old women and stuff like that, before the banking came around, that were really, really pleased with it. So you taking it to this level is good. Putting in, using tech to bring more people into it, to give them more confidence and everything like that. So that's why you are really doing a confidence trust business, because that is what it is. Whatever you talk to, the minute I saw Ajo Isusu, is like, okay. So for you to convince people to say, okay, come to me, I can guarantee it much more. I can assure you that you're getting money. You can do this, you can do that. So that is the issue, that you're not selling a new product. What you're simply doing is giving it nice level of integrity, especially for the millennials who don't know about it. Because when you mentioned Ajo to a 20-year-old or even an early 30-year-old, they're like, what are you talking about? So it has formalized it for and also people in diaspora, because like I say, there are people who wants to come, who wants to invest in certain things, who want to put their money somewhere against a certain time. So that, okay, I want to buy a bus, I want to buy a house, I want to buy this. Okay, let me give my money to this person. And then when the time comes, I can come collect it and use it. So once they have that belief that, yes, there is somewhere in Nigeria right now that we can do that, then a lot of people will get onto this platform, which I think is a good laudable, I think.
Thank you very much for your feedback. Like I said, yes, you're right. I mean, that's what we've been hearing. And that is why we started this How It Works series. So it's more or less an advocacy series, like more or less trying to let people know that it is. See, Kumbi's question. I don't understand what happens if someone in an Ajo drops and then loses their job. Good question. So when you join an Ajo, let's say an Ajo for 5, right? Remember that your account is tied to this Ajo. Aside your account that is tied to this Ajo, remember that you equally work in an organization that we have asked you to put, and that someone chooses to play, games with us, right? One, if we are unable to deduct from your account, which is auto debit month, deduct me, right? So the system deducts you automatically. If we are unable to do that, the terms and conditions sheet you're filling says that we can actually walk up or write to your organization. And that's why we also made it so that you can't contribute more than a third of your earnings. So we know if you're earning 100,000 and you're joining an Ajo of 30,000, the likelihood that knowing full well that we come to your organization, we report to you, and your organization will be in the know, and then which might lead to a loss of jobs. We know that the likelihood is very low because you're joining an Ajo of 30,000, you're earning this 100,000. And you know that if you don't pay us, right, we come to your organization and it might lead to loss of job. You are likely not to do that. But let's even assume that, like your question says, the person loses his or her job, right? One of the things for now with lead reassurance is that because we know people would want to game the system, let's see how this goes over time. So the cover was meant to be job loss, death, accidental, temporary or permanent disability. So for now, job loss is not part of it. It covers accidental, permanent or temporary disability and also death, right? In the event of any of these things, right, we have a buffer fund that we use to come into the system so that it goes while Libby pays us back. So we are ensuring everybody on the platform, right? But we know that when a claim comes up, right, a claim request comes up, it's not instant. They tell you typically it takes 3 days. If you are due today and insurance is telling us 3 days, right, somebody needs to come in as a buffer, knowing full well that the third day after we are going to get that. And that's how it works, because we know sometimes it's not a function of integrity, it's a function of this is what is happening. This person either died or lost his job and all of that. What happens, and that's where the insurance thing comes in. So it's first of its kind of several how it works to happen. We know that the more people hear about this, the more we tell people how it works. the more confidence we are gradually building in people. But if we don't have this sensitization, engagement, of course, we don't expect a miracle to happen. But I tell you that we are on ground. We're also here to build a future for ourselves. You can check our profiles. You realize that we all work for collectively for established organizations. We are trying to as well build credibility. We know people don't trust anyone in Nigeria, for real. For real. We are also in Nigeria. We are Nigerians. But like you said, there are equally good stories out there coming out of Nigeria, and we want to be part of the good story. So if there are any other ways you think we can build confidence in the system, in people, I mean, to let them know this is doable. If you go to Egypt, one of the biggest fintech in Egypt is called Money Follows. It is just this Ajo, nothing more. It's the biggest in Egypt. Just Google it, Money Follows, and you'll see that it is working, it is tested, it is trusted. We are trying to do the same thing and even beyond, because they don't even provide insurance here in Nigeria. And so we know this is the pain we have to, endure over time, to have people believe in us and believe that this is workable and this is doable. Thank you very much. We would, like I said, beyond this, our numbers, if you check out the emails, our numbers are there. Our different channels are there of communication. We would like to hear from you, develop relationship with you. We are more or less our early adopters. So we would like to even take it beyond just this. So please help advocate, because this is going to happen 2 weeks time, same time, Sunday, by God's grace. So we intend to do this over a period of time to continually sensitize people on how it works. And then we know by over time.
Sorry, just one question before you go.
All right, sir.
You've mentioned that you're going to take a percentage of people's salaries. Now, what of people who do not work in a formal organization, who also do not have a specific amount of earnings every month? Can they contribute a specific amount of money based on amount rather than on the percentage of how much they earn in a month? Because they don't know how much they're going to earn in a month.
At all, sir. The straight answer to that, no, sir. Because we have to verify you that yes, you are stable in where you work.
For example, a sole trader who is a registered company, what will that person do?
Unfortunately, the platform is not for such person. It's for employees in workplace. Yes. Yes.
Okay. This one. Okay. So that's clear. All right.
And we encourage organizations as well to pass the headache of employee loans and what have you to the system, right? To help them, take away the burden. Because like I said, if your employees are not happy, which might not necessarily be your fault, but the general happenings in the country, of course, it translates to productivity. So we try as much as possible to get some of our early joiners. You see, there are schools, right? Schools typically, salary is not too, good or commensurate, right? But a number of them leverage on our job to achieve their financial goals, right? So we encourage employers as well. We go into organizations, we engage them, and some of them, okay, you know what, our life is for my employees, and then they get us on board to get their staff on board, whether within themselves or with other employees across different organizations. They want us to come. So please help spread the word. This is going to be regular. So perhaps might not be the last email you get from us. Many more emails, is going to come your way. We ask and plead with you to help share with friends, family. And if there are further questions you have for us, we'll be glad to take them, advice, all of that. We will welcome it. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. All right. Do have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye, all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.